Okay, continuing to deal with our main player character, let's look at what we have so far. We have our player, and when we start, we have one character, and it'll randomly select a location, and it's not being very random right now. Randomly select a location, and it'll spawn that character. And we have that Boolean variable in the character that will allow us to, this particular variable here, that will allow us to set it to 0 or 1, and it'll select Manny or Quinn as the characters. What if we had another player or another character and we wanted to possess or change to that character? So as an example, I'm going to duplicate our third person character, BP third person. So we'll choose duplicate here, and I'm going to call it BP third person Manny. And yep, I'm going to go in and hard code the mannequin, the skeletal mesh here, to be the other mannequin. So right now it's got the Quinn. Sorry, right now it's got the um, the Manny one. We're going to drag it out and put it in game here. Ah, ouch. Ah, ouch. So we've got the other character here, and actually I do have the wrong model selected there. So let's go in here. Oh, third person Manny. So let's go in and make sure we have the Manny simple one here. Uh, why isn't it changing for me, guys? I'm going to close this and not save it. Think about it for a second. What did we just implement a minute ago? The variable to set it. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to uncheck it. And now with the character in the space, we have our Manny character. That was silly of me. So we do have two characters now, though. We have the one that we're running around with, and we can control it and change it. But we can't change to this character. So let's set it so that we could actually change and occupy or possess this character. So what we're going to do is, because our characters auto-spawned, we're going to catch a reference to the auto-spawned character when the level starts up. And then we're just going to give the user the ability to hit the number 1 key or the number 2 key and choose which of the two characters they're occupying. So we're going to do some of the work in the level blueprint. Actually, we'll do all the work in the level blueprint. We're going to figure out which characters spawned and get a reference to it, and then we will put the number 1 key, number 2 key control logic in there as well. So we're going to open the level blueprint. And in the level blueprint, dock it up top here, we have some space right here, and just looking for space really. We're going to, actually let's get player pawn. So this is going to get a reference to the character that started. Let's promote this to a variable. And let's call this variable initial player ID. So when the level starts, it's going to run this sequence 0, do its whatever it's doing here, a print string, but then we're going to also catch and set the player pawn ID here. Updates, initial, what we call it, initial player ID var from spawned pawn. Okay. So far nothing happens other than we're setting this particular variable. So now what we'd like to do is when the user presses the 1 key, we're going to do possess the 1 character, and when he presses the 2 key, it's going to possess the other character. So we could map this to an IA, enhanced input action. For the purpose of this demonstration, to keep the video short, we're just going to use the raw keyboard input here. So right click and I'll say 1 keyboard, and for the 1 key press, and then we'll do 2 keyboard for the second one. So we want to be able to set the player to move between the two options. So we're going to use the possess node. So we'll use possesses. I'll uncheck the possesses function here. And when 1 is pressed, we're going to use this reference here that we set. So I'm going to drag out the initial player ID, get it, and that's the pawn that's being set. And in the case of the second one, we have to go and get a reference for that. So I've got the player, the second one that we added manually, highlighted. You can see it's highlighted in the viewport and in the world outliner. So here I'm going to right click and make sure I've got it highlighted. Turn on the context sensitive search so it appears at the top. We're going to do the copy here, paste. We're going to use this as a target for the pawn. We need to connect the 1 pin here. And now we need a reference to the player controller to plug it into the target. So we'll get player controller. And then connect here. We may need to get the character reference to this as well. No, we're good. Center. Okay, so this function, if it works for us, allow player to press 1 or 2 to change which actor they possess. So this simply ran at startup when the level is spawned and caught a reference to the player pawn so that we could use it here. And this is simply going to allow the user to press 1 and select the original player, or press 2 and select the one that we added. So I'm going to compile this and save it. So without moving, I'm up here on the top. If I hit 2, I'm down here, and I hit 1, I'm up top. So I can run over here and... Ouch. So we can switch back and forth. You can see I'm hitting the 1 and the 2 key, and this is letting me move back and forth, so I can run this character up here.
Ouch.
And then we're back here with this character controlling this character.
Ouch.
So with a little bit of simple logic, we can choose which character's active in our game. This works pretty handily. They're both the same kind of characters. And you can do similar stuff where you would have the character move towards a vehicle, get in the vehicle, and then you possess the vehicle to drive it as opposed to running. But similar idea. In here, we're just doing the two different characters, allowing them to press 1 or 2.